Hey guys, what's up? This is a battle theory video. I know, it sounds so cool. So this is something which I've been working on, and I've done some research, and I would put it at the back of my brain to get some things which I've learned when I was a kid. So before we start this battle theory video, I would like to give a shout out to Elysta Music. Please subscribe to that channel. He or she, the channel gives out like free music. So there's gaming music, vlog music, and etc. I'll put a link in the description below. And yeah, so without any further ado, let's go ahead and start the video, guys. So our two fighting machines, well, not necessarily, but our two fighters for this video are Spinosaurus and Carnotaurus. I'll give you the height, the length, and the weight of each of these dinos, and then I'll give you the pros and cons, and then I will set out the battle. And you might want to stay tuned for the whole video if you want to see who is victorious, and I'll also give you guys like a chance to vote, just to like see who you want to win to. But like this is what I'm basically also thinking. There's also like other types, so that's what's gonna be first. So hopefully that makes sense, guys. But anyway, let's go ahead. So for the Carnotaurus, the height is 2 to 3 meters, which is 6 to 9 feet. The mass is 2,200 to 6,600 pounds. The length, 26 to 30 feet. That was the Carnotaurus dimensions. Now, for the Spinosaurus, the height is 14 feet. The mass is 15,000 to 46,000 pounds. Wow. The length is 41 to 59 feet. The Spinosaurus pros are it has long limbs. It's the biggest land predator that ever walked the earth. It can swim, and it has pretty good senses, pretty good sight, smell, etc. But the cons, the big sail on its back makes it pretty vulnerable. Alright? So if a predator was to bite on that sail and break it, then the Spinosaurus would slowly die. It can't swim long distances, and it is somewhat slow compared to a medium-sized carnivore such as a Ceratosaurus or a Carnotaurus in this case. It's a better fighter because, well, its most rival in its habitat was the Sarcosuchus, which is a very dangerous crocodile. Now for the Now for the Carnotaurus. The pros: it's a fast dinosaur. It has good camouflage scales, so basically it's able to blend in with the background for a pretty decent, for like what it is. And it has small horns on the top of its head that could be used as a defense, but I really don't know if they really used it or if it's just like a show off for in the mating season. So it has long legs. So, like I said, takes bigger strides, go faster, and also have rough scales with also little tiny nubs. Where if, say, that a predator was around to like bite on, it would kind of be tough to hold because it would be so rough, and all these like little nubs. Some of the cons is the Carnotaurus has a weak bite. It has a weak lower jaw, which isn't really good for biting. So if anything was about to smack that lower jaw, then it would die. It has tiny, tiny arms. Imagine a baby at the chest of the Carnotaurus. And, like, if you remember the dimensions before, imagine those little tiny arms on that Carnotaurus. I mean, go ahead, look up some pictures and see how small those arms are. The teeth, they're not really for like hunting, because Like one of the other cons for a Carnotaurus, it was a scavenger, so those teeth weren't really for like grabbing on and strangling them and like bringing them down and like eating them up. I don't know what that was, so don't ask me in the comments below. So those are basically the pros and cons of the Carnotaurus. Now it's time for the actual battle. So, we start out in a habitat with a river and let's say a forest. Okay? Um, Actually, I think what would be better is if we add in, so scrap that. It's a dry desert. And it has a pool of water. There is no other dinosaur in sight. There comes a huge old Spinosaurus. It has battle scars from all the fights, and it has won most of them. And that Spinosaurus hasn't lost anything. Okay, so basically what I mean by anything is like he hasn't lost any fingers or whatnot. Anyway, let's go back to the battle. So the battle, the Spinosaurus is drinking the water, then he smells something. It's a dead carcass of a Myosaurus. So then he sees something in the distance, and it's a robust male Carnotaurus. It's scavenging off the dead Myosaura. So then basically what happens is the Spinosaurus starts advancing on the carcass, but the Carnotaurus is too quick for him. The Carnotaurus sees him and gets ready. This is where the clash begins. The Spinosaurus grabs the neck of the Myosaura and starts pulling, but the Carnotaurus won't have it. It grabs the tail. But the Spinosaurus is stronger than the Carnotaurus and pulls the carcass and throws it away. Their gazes met, and the fight is on. The Spinosaurus lunges for the Carno, but the Carnotaurus is too quick. It makes the risk of going underneath the underbelly of the Spinosaurus and it headbutts right in the center. The Spinosaurus gets the wind knocked out of it and it starts nipping its legs. Of course, the bite of a Carnotaurus is pretty weak, but it's still pretty painful. The Spinosaurus roars in pain. The Spinosaurus then doesn't have it anymore. It's either me or him. Then he jukes out, and then the Carnotaurus does the same thing, tries to go under it, but this time the Spinosaurus is ready for it, and he takes his long arm and sharp claws and strikes right at the Carnotaurus. The Carnotaurus roars in pain as it fumbles down to the ground. Thump. The Carnotaurus is dazed and is motionless. Then the Spinosaurus lays its foot down on the Carnotaurus' tail, crushing it. The Carnotaurus roars in pain, and as the Spinosaurus was about to grab its neck, the Carnotaurus uses its foot to blow its snout back. Spinosaurus shakes off on the uneasy feeling. When he looks back, the Carnotaurus is already advancing toward him. He tries again to swing, but this time the Carnotaurus duked him out, and he's underneath him again, headbutts him, and grabbed its tail. The Spinosaurus isn't having it, and he stomps, and the tail goes loose and smacks the Carnotaurus straight in the face. Its jaw is hurting now. The Carnotaurus roars in pain, and then the Spinosaurus throws the Carnotaurus to the ground. The Carnotaurus is motionless. Then just as the Spinosaurus is coming down and kicks the snout again, then goes up, The Spinosaurus scratches right at the side of its face, digging into an eye. The Carnotaurus roars in pain, and as it moves its head side to side, the Spinosaurus got too close. Bam! Right there. The horn punctured the eye of the Spinosaurus while it roars. Then the Carnotaurus uses its good eye to pinpoint the location of its throat. It jumps up and it grabs the throat, bringing the Spinosaurus to the ground. Then the Spinosaurus uses its long arms to grab the neck and throw it down to the ground. The Spinosaurus was about to go and stomp on the head while the Carnotaurus looks up at it. It rolls over to the other side, hurting itself in the process, but it doesn't care. It comes back, and right when the spine of the Spinosaurus is low enough for it to bite, it takes a chance. It bites. The Spinosaurus is brought to the ground with a shattering sound. The Spinosaurus then is in pain. It's trying to get back up, but it can't, since the Carnotaurus is grabbing onto the spine. Then somehow the Spinosaurus uses its free hand to grab the dust and at least do some damage, while it makes a diversion for the Carnotaurus. The Carnotaurus backs away, and before he can clearly get a look, the Spinosaurus is back on its feet and uses its massive claws to bring a big gash to the Carnotaurus' side. Once that happens, the Carnotaurus roars in pain, and then, final blow, the Spinosaurus grabs the neck of the Carnotaurus and grabs it by the neck with its mouth and brings it to the ground. It starts shaking it vigorously, and it thought that it was over, because the Carnotaurus laid motionlessly on the ground. The Carnotaurus slowly got up, and then he didn't think that it was over. When the Spinosaurus went back to the carcass, the Carnotaurus got up, but then the Spinosaurus saw it and grabbed its claws and swatted it right on the face, breaking the jaw of the Carnotaurus. The Carnotaurus fell, and the Spinosaurus stomped, grabbed on its neck, and killed it once for all. The Spinosaurus slowly went over to the Maiasaura, started eating the carcass. The Spinosaurus was victorious, but because of the big injury on the spine, it later died from being unable to hunt and being paralyzed from the big impact on its spine that it later had effect on. And guys, here's where the voting begins. If none of that happened, and the Carnotaurus and the Spinosaurus faced each other with all those pros and cons and all those dimensions, who do you think would win? I'll give out a poll in the comments below saying Carnotaurus or Spinosaurus. Likes are Carno. Dislikes are the Spino. Or actually, I'll just do Carnotaurus and Spinosaurus, and the most likes on each of those comments will win. So let's go ahead and wrap this video up, guys. So, like I said before, if you guys like this video, please leave a like, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.